Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel if you've been before, especially to my YouTube subscribers and also to my close community who receive my email updates. And if you're brand new here, welcome also to you. My name's Lizzie. I am an MEN1 patient of 13 years and for the past 5 years have been on the most remarkable trend bucking healing journey. One of the things I'm really often asked about is supplements, and specifically which supplements I take every day. Having been asked this now quite a few times recently, I wanted to jump on and create a video to share with you guys, and I'm going to do that now. So I will share with you what it is I take daily and anything that I take that's not daily. And then if you stay until the end of the video, I'm going to give you the real gold, because what I take is of no relevance to you, really. But if you stay until the end of the video, I'm going to give you an idea of how to start your own supplement journey if that is something that you feel called to do. I am going to mention now, I am not a medical doctor. I have no qualifications in nutritional, dietary fields whatsoever, and I am not trying to be a doctor. I am giving purely what has worked for me, what has not worked for me, in the hope that you can take it away and apply it to your own journey, do your own research and see if you can build some amazing results as well. So that is why we're here. I have a tray here of not a small number of supplements. It's worth my saying now, I am definitely an MEN1 patient. I actually embarked down the supplement route not primarily for MEN1. It was to get a handle on my gut health because I had gut symptoms and I didn't know the link at that point. So I am on what you will see is a radical gut health program. I wouldn't probably recommend to anybody that they take the number of supplements that I do without first consulting a practitioner who is very well versed in this area, and that's what I do. So my functional medicine practitioner is part of my A team. And if you're not familiar with my work, Build Your A Team is the first step of the empowerment framework I teach. So it's about finding the right professionals for you. So all that doolally over, let's actually jump in with the supplements. I'm going to separate these out into kind of 5 different categories and show you them all, name them, give you an idea of what that category does, just a very brief one. And then again, stay till the end because otherwise you're not going to know what to do with it. So the first category, and if I look down, it's because I've got notes here. I am not a robot. The first category of supplements I take is called antioxidant treatment, and this, I work in simple terms, so it's a simple way of saying possibly prevents or delays cell damage. The supplements I take here, I will name them all. NAC, sometimes called NAC, carotenoid, lycopene or lycopene, depending on where you are based, resveratrol, zinc. This one actually comes in French and it's called molybden. And this is glutathione plus. So as I said, those are all part of my antioxidant treatment, and an antioxidant treatment is a branch of treating the gut, looking at preventing and possibly delaying cell damage. I will put those neatly back on here so they're all in one place. You wouldn't believe how long it took me to get used to these. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I have these beautiful little multicolored capsules to keep them all in place. I'll also, the names are a little bit unfamiliar, so just to help out, I will pop just the names and the description of the category in the description block description box below with any references I've used as well. So antioxidant treatment was number one. The next one is called field treatment, and field treatment consists mainly of vitamins, also something called magnesium as well, which is super duper important. And field treatment is a very generic term, and it's a really good way of saying, to sound more medical, like a kind of jack of all trades type of supplement. In this instance, let's look at it as general healthy metabolic function. So the one I've already mentioned is magnesium, and magnesium will often come, because it's just an element on its own, it will often come combined with something, and mine is called magnesium taurate. There are different versions. The next one, B complex. This one is called NADH, activated B3, activated vitamin, I can't speak, activated vitamin B3. And then one of my favorites, so this is a combination of vitamins K1, K2 and D3. Put those all back. You'll hear about magnesium a lot in MEN1. It's very often prescribed actually by endocrinologists themselves. So that was field treatment. Vitamins mainly, and they help healthy metabolic function. They do for me anyway. Number three, one of my favorites, called fatty acid treatment. And these are tiny little vials of, this is actually a fish oil. I don't know if you can see. Hold it up close to the camera. It's a vial of, well, what I just said, fish oil, essentially. And you'll have heard of these referred to as omega-3s, omega-6s, maybe GLA, DHA, those sorts of things. That's fish oil. I take another one called linoleum, fish oil and linoleum. And this is actually a combination of loads of different types of seed oils. And I don't have which ones they are right here on the box. But again, it comes in a little capsule form. So that's fatty acid treatment. Fatty acid treatment, I forgot to say, is primarily, for me, has been about energy and also tissue development. If you're someone who knows you have a leaky gut, potentially these on their own could probably solve that. Number four, glandular support treatment. Kind of does what it says on the tin. There's only one in this category. It's literally called thyroid support. And we'll all know in MEN1 that the thyroid is super important. It is connected to both the hypothalamus, which is the part of the brain that does pretty much everything, and tells the body, or tells the glands, how much of which hormone to secrete. It's not primarily affected in MEN1. It's not one of the 3 Ps. The parathyroids sit right next to it, but it's essential. And a lot of you will know that if your thyroid is off, it can wreak havoc. So this is a natural supplement, and I would say optimal thyroid gland function is what we're going for with this one. Okay, and last but not least, actually I wish I'd saved and said these two are my favourite, probably because they're just the funkiest. Intestinal treatment. There's no easy way to describe intestinal treatment. Again, it's very, very vague, but what I would say is that these two supplements are intended to cleanse. One's intended to cleanse the gut, and I say cleanse like that because there are a lot of precursors to being able to cleanse your gut, and taking a supplement, putting a pill inside you is not one of them. But once you get through to a certain stage of gut healing, then that will come in. And the other one is about feeding the gut microbiome, which I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of because it's all over the news now. Probiotic this, prebiotic that. Everyone's talking about it. So I will show you what those are. Might be helpful. The cleanser is called, this was called Berberine 500. It's one of my favourite supplements, and probably because it's bright yellow, and that is amazing. I have taken that very recently when I had an episode of gut inflammation from having eaten something which I shouldn't have done, and the bloating was terrible and very long lasted. Berberine really helped me out on that one. Again, it wasn't the only thing, there was other stuff I had to do, but it's amazing. And then this is more familiar. This is called a probiotic, OptiBac Everyday Max. I take one of these a day, and I take it fasted, so on a completely empty gut first thing in the morning. And yeah, probiotic helps feed the gut microbiome. So those are all the supplements I take in a day. I'm going to throw in, like a frisbee, a little caveat here and say some of them actually are not daily, but I've included them here because I want you to know that they're there. The ones that are not daily, I'm going to pick it back up again, berberine, and that's only because it wouldn't work if I took it daily. So I take it once a month for 6 days in a row, and that's how it works, like a cleanse. The fatty acid treatment, so the fish oil and the seed oil, I don't take those every day as well. I take several a week, and that's just because when I first began, my gut was in such a way that I needed to take them daily, but my gut lining is in a much better state now, and that's meant that I can take fewer, which is amazing. And there was another one which doesn't get taken every day. Oh yes, the reason I nearly forgot about it is because it's not actually here. So my radical gut healing program, I have done alongside the same functional medicine practitioner for coming up on 6 years. He's a medical doctor by training and then transferred into functional medicine. One of the things he'll do is if he can see that there is some sort of infection in my gut, he will prescribe me a medication. And the reason it's probably good that it's not here is because it's a medication rather than a supplement, so it needs a prescription. It's a drug. It's man-made. And I say that because I don't take those daily either. Those come in one go. And the ethos is that we want to take as few of those as possible. Okay. Those are all the supplements I take daily. I didn't even plan to share that much detail, but there you go. I hope that that's been super helpful. I did promise I was going to share the next stage. So if you just watched that video back and you're looking at this tray of supplements here, and you're like, flipping heck, like, do I need those? Which ones do I need? Which ones do I not need? Like, where do I even start? Who do I work with? This is not how I did it, and I'm going to tell you the way I wish I'd done it. I can't tell you the way to do it, but this is how I didn't do it, and this is the way I wish I'd done it. So I really wish I had spoken to my endocrinologist first. I actually hid it from them from a little bit because there was they just weren't quite sure and a little bit mocking of it. But I did seek out a functional medicine practitioner who was able to tell me what to take, because we do very, very rigorous blood testing every 6 to 9 months. So I had someone tell me, you need to take these supplements. I didn't go to my endocrinologist, and that is the first thing. I'm going to say it now and say it really loudly. That is the absolute first thing any MEN1 patient must do before they make any changes to their diet, their lifestyle, or their environment. And I do that now. The reason I didn't before was because I was like, oh, hide it from them, they won't get it. Don't do that. Be honest and open and upfront. They might not tell you what you want to hear, but okay, this is how we move forward in life, is we don't always disagree on things. And that it all falls under this bracket of build your A-team, like I said before. So it's the first stage in this healing framework, which I teach to people. Build your A-team first. So find the right people to help you out with your supplements first, before you go and even click on a link or go into Holland & Barrett. That's the first stage. The next step, manage your stress levels. And I'm going to tell you why. This doesn't make a jot of difference if your gut, whilst it's trying to process food and these, is also processing and digesting stress. Because what happens is, when you enter your stress state, which is very natural, it's totally acceptable, and it happens to all of us, it's very good. When you enter your stress state, the body shuts down any non-essential functions, and one of those is digestion. And it was meant to protect us back in the day when we had to go and fight wild animals. However, in this day and age, we're now experiencing, and I will talk from my experience, I have experienced that level of stress throughout my day. And I've taken these supplements for years, and I've been through years where we've seen no difference whatsoever. And these cost a bob. These are not cheap. So that is why you need to get on top of your stress levels first. And people are like, which supplements? I'm like, stress levels, get on top of your stress levels. Build your A-team before that. Stress is something I look at with my clients under the next stage of the healing framework, which I've called Heal Yourself, and that's a big S. And that is because anything that we do externally in our health, just because these go inside, by the way, does not make them internal. That's an external component to your healthcare plan. The same with food, the same with exercise, the same with sleep, the same with therapies, the same with drugs, the same with surgery. Like, they're all external until you focus on the internal. And by the internal, I mean the mind, the body, and your core being. Some people call that spirit, soul, whatever you believe in. Until you get on top of that mind, body, and core essence, you will not get on top of your stress. Until you get up on top of your stress, you cannot digest these little things. So that's the second thing I would say. The third thing, once you've built your A-team and you've got someone, ideally an expert in this field, who can help you through with your supplements, once you are managing your stress levels, you're healing yourself, then it's time to look at actually which supplements to take. And that's important because if you work with someone who's good or someone who is quite radical, they will read everything from blood tests, and your blood tests are massively dictated to by basically your day-to-day living, so your stress, and other parts of your health as well. So get on top of that before you even go near supplements. The reason I say find a practitioner soon on is because the first thing that people will do normally is go to the internet, go to Holland & Barrett and ask someone in there. Never ask Google for advice, and if you do, run it past me. Pharmacists, people who work in health food shops, not their qualification, but their knowledge is limited, and they won't know MEN1. So I'm sharing with you what's worked for me in MEN1, and that is it. that was way more detail than I meant to give. But hey ho, we are at 20 minutes in. Congratulations if you've stayed until this moment. And I really honour you because it's a hefty, heavy subject. And I want to make sure that's totally clear before we sign off. So if you are, I'm not recommending supplements. I'm not endorsing supplements. I can tell you this brand, they're called Purely Yours Laboratories. I can also tell you can't actually source them from the UK. Not endorsing anything, not recommending anything. I'm not allowed to do that. What I'm allowed to do is share my experience. So I hope that that's been really, really helpful. Follow those 3 steps. If you want to move forward with these supplements, follow those 3 steps. So it is, I'd even go to the stress thing first. Like, get on top of your stress, because your gut will not process the supplements and it will not process your food, more importantly, which is where the main source of nutrition is. This is a supplement, meant to supplement, not replace. Stress first. Find someone decent and bring them into your A team. Really, really important. Then the 3rd stage of the framework, recreate your health. And I do that with my clients who have been working with me for a little bit longer. And that's when we can start looking at specific supplements and what they do and whether or not they might affect MEN1, this, that and the other. Again, it's not medical advice, but it's personal experience. Thank you for watching. I will put, again, those most important details in the box below. Drop any questions, challenges, anything that isn't clear. And what else do you want to know about? Like, I'm here, I'm literally sharing this. I have my food, my dinner waiting in the oven, and I've got a mic, which is why you can't hear it. But I'm so passionate about this, so I want to know what you want to know, por favor. And I will also add that we are moving into, I say we as a community, in a close community, we're moving into a different sort of sphere. I've been around for 2 years doing this. It's going to start changing. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty. We're going to talk about supplements, different diets. We're going to talk about the external stuff that really kind of piques people's curiosity, environmental toxins, endocrine disruptors. At the same time, we're going to talk about the stuff that no one else wants to talk about, but is often the source of people's complaint. You know, why do you have difficulty liaising with your medical team? And I'm not going to stand here and say it's all their fault. Yes, you can cry because it's all their fault. That's not me. I'm going to call out the victimhood. I'm going to call out the lack of leadership. I'm going to call that out with love, kindness and compassion. But that's how I had to do it for myself. It's taken me 5 years to get here, and I want to save it and give it to you in 5 minutes. The last thing I'm going to say is subscribe if you're not already. YouTube subscribers literally get new videos like that. Same with my email community. And in fact, if you're in the email community, you just get way more. So this is like the surface of it. I'm able to go into more detail in my email updates and when I have a back and forth. So if you're not already there, the link is in the description box. I will put it in there and I'll see you there.